What up, y'all? Slowjams4life back again with another album review for y'all. And today I'm going to be talking about this new album by The Dream. It's called Love Hate Part 2. Now, if you know about The Dream, his debut album was called Love Hate. That, most people will say that's like a classic album for sure. It has a lot of vibes on there. Had Shorty Was a Shit, Falsetto, I Love Your Girl, Purple Kisses, She Needs My Love. I mean, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. This is the sequel to that album. And I'll just say, I don't like when artists name an album a sequel because it never really quite lives up to the hype. It never really creates that same nostalgic feeling that you get. We go in listening to that album thinking like, okay, this is going to be like Love Hate. And it's almost never the case. I don't think I've ever heard an album that was titled a sequel that was comparable to the first album or better. Let me know in the comments if you guys know of any. Just thinking off the top of the head, Mariah Carey, Emancipation, even though she named it E=MC², so not necessarily the same title, Part 2, but everybody knew that was like kind of like a Part 2. That was a good album, but it didn't compare to Mariah's, you know, to the Emancipation to Mimi. I can't really think of who else. I know Usher was going to come out with Confessions Part 2 before he released his last album, but he ended up changing it to something else. And I was happy that he did that because everybody knows that he's not topping Confessions. But you guys get my drift. But I can't think of who else has sequels when it comes to R&B albums. But I know like a lot of, you know, rappers done that. Lloyd Banks did it. Hunger for More Part 2. And yeah, it just doesn't live up to the hype. So going into this album, The Dream released 2 singles. The first single was called Bring That Body, and the second single was called Tampa featuring Usher. I was very vocal about not liking Bring That Body. I just thought that song sounded dated. I didn't like the chorus. You know, I actually did a review of that song on his channel. But yeah, I didn't like that song. I didn't like Tampa either. So when he first came out with those 2 songs, I was already thinking like, all right, Dream is 0 for 2. I posted that on my page on Instagram. I was like, The Dream is 0 for 2. And a lot of people agreed with me. They were like, yeah, this is not it. And some people were like, this kind of sounds like Love Hate, you know. And to me, I didn't really get that vibe. You know, it sounded dated, but I didn't really get that vibe. Like, even like the vocals, like Dream's vocals just didn't sound crisp. The instrumental didn't sound crisp on those first 2 songs. But even still, I was just like, you know what? When the album come out, I'm going to give it a full shot. I'm going to listen to it. And that's what I did. So the album released today. And usually I like to listen to an album 2 times. That's like my thing that I'm doing now. I don't like to just come on here and do a review off the first listen because sometimes, you know, that first listen may not hit. But a lot of the times for me, after the first listen, I can listen to it and tell like, okay, is this something that I'm going to really like and I'm going to actually go back and listen to? So with this, I kind of listened to it once all the way through in the morning. And then now it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And before I made this review, I went back and listened to, you know, my favorites that I had saved again to kind of see which ones I was feeling the most. And then I kind of skimmed through some of the songs that I didn't have saved to really see, okay, is this something that I could potentially like going forward? So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to break it down into kind of like categories. So the first category would be the songs that I enjoyed the most that I think that could be potential singles or that should have been singles. And then the second category would be songs that I feel like have the potential to grow on me the more I listen to it. And then the third category is going to be songs where it just wasn't doing it for me at all and that I don't see, that are just very forgettable. So first category I have that I'm really feeling the most, I would say my favorite song would probably be Love Sound. And that is a song, I think it was produced by Los. And that song, at the moment, I would say that could have been a single. That would have been a nice first single because it sounds familiar. It kind of has that dream sound. And if I had to compare it to a dream song, I would say think like love songs. The song that Dream had, I think it was on his Love Hate album, or not Love Hate, Love versus Money album. We make love songs. So not exactly the same, but it kind of gives you that vibe. You know, it's talking about love sounds, and the other one is talking about love songs. So yeah, it kind of give you that vibe. So when I first heard that song, I added it to the playlist. So I was like, yeah, this one, you know, kind of give you that dream sound. But still, like the vocals on this album are not really the same. It just, I don't know, his vocals, I don't know, the auto-tune is a little bit different. I don't like with his first album, it just sound more fresh and crisp. Like the vocals sound crisp, the auto-tune, you know, it just sound like more crisp. This album, like a lot of the songs sounds dated, but the vocals also sound dated as well. So it doesn't sound like crisp vocals. Like, I don't know, like the mixing, the auto-tune, just from the untrained ear, that's what it sounds like to me. So yeah, so Love Sound. Second on my list is 24/7. Again, this kind of like sounds similar to Love Sound. So I think these songs are like back to back, if I'm not mistaken, but they have like kind of like that similar vibe. And number 3 is Blow My Mind. And that is a song that instantly when I heard it, I was like, okay, this sounds like it could have been a single. Like all these 3 songs easily could have been singles over the singles that he selected. The first single was Bring That Body. The second single was Tampa featuring Usher, which I thought that was just, I mean, you got Usher on the song. I felt like the song could have been better, and then the third single is Be My Lady featuring T.I., which he released today. And I'll get back to that song in a minute. But so number 4 on my list, if I had to pick from my top 4 favorite songs that could be singles, is No Hands. That's a song that could easily be number 1 on my list. And it probably will end up being number 1. That's a song that, yeah, it's very catchy. And yeah, No Hands. Again, these are songs that should have been singles over the other songs. I really don't know what he was thinking of picking those singles, but yeah, I know the Usher single, you know, you would think that single would do well because it has Usher, but no. So yeah, those are the singles. And now I'm gonna get into the songs that I feel like that can grow on me. And number 1, I'm gonna say Power Coat featuring Pusha T. Really, that song, Pusha T's verse on there, I love his verse. He just starts off the song with his verse. And then Dream, this is a song, it's kind of like a different sounding song. I don't know how to describe it or even compare it to a song of that Dream has. But man, this is a song that sounds good under the influence. If you high, put this song on, it just has that cocaine feel to it. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, this is a song I could easily see him releasing this as a single, but it's a very different sounding song for Dream. But yeah, I could see me liking this song more and more. It doesn't sound bad, but you know, I didn't have it as you know, my top favorite songs. But yeah, that's a song that could really grow on me. Number 2 on my list is State of Peaches. State of Peaches, this is a song, is like a ballad. It's more on the slow side. If you like songs like Fancy, this song is kind of like give you that similar vibe. So yeah, State of Peaches is a song. And I remember when Fancy came out, I didn't really like that song at first. Fancy is a song that had to really grow on me. And, you know, a lot of women love Fancy. And I was like, damn, let me listen to Fancy again. And yeah, that ended up growing on me as well. So State of Peaches, I feel like that's going to be one of them ones. Kind of like Fancy is going to be like one of them slow burner songs. Like the more you listen to it, you get in that right element, the right girl dancing to it, you're going to end up liking that song. So State of Peaches. Number 3 on that list, as far as songs that can grow on me, is Papi Te Ama featuring Kelly Rowland. And this is another kind of like one of those slow songs, but it's very catchy. And it kind of gives me that vibe of falsetto with the certain sounds that they make and playing in their hair. So think of Falsetto by The Dream and Playing in Her Hair had a baby. It'd probably be Papi Te Ama. You know, that's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, that one. And yeah. So now, and also I'll throw in Be My Lady, which is the single that he released today featuring T.I. It has a very catchy chorus. So yeah, that's a song that could easily grow on me as well. And now for the forgettable songs, I would say favorite. I mean, very forgettable. Obviously, slash juxtapose, or I don't even know how you say that, but obviously forgettable. And then the second is like two songs in one. The second song, Juxtapose, it's kind of like a Vogue type record. I don't know. That's something that you'll hear like at one of those, you know, one of those gay clubs. I'll just say it like that. Has that very Vogue type vibe. So I guess that's what he was going for with that. But yeah, very forgettable songs. Nothing I would play. But yeah, man, overall, I would say like it didn't really give me that vibe as far as the love-hate vibe. You know, I wish you would have named this album something else, because I think, to reiterate what I was saying earlier, once you give it that label that it's going to be a sequel to like one of your best albums, you know, you go into it thinking like, okay, this is not better than that. And it's definitely not better than Love Hate. And, you know, I will put this at the bottom of Dream's albums. And he's kind of marketing this album as his first album in like, I think, 11 years, or I don't know how many years, but this is his first album on a major label, I guess. Like, he's released albums, I think Sex Tape Part 4, and then it was another album before then that he released, but those were like independent albums. Or Menage a Trois was another album. But those two albums were good. Like, those albums didn't sound dated. They sound like some fresh, modern R&B. But this album, I don't know, it just kind of sounds dated. I wouldn't say it's horrible. I didn't have high expectations going into it, hearing the singles. So I would say like I left after hearing this album thinking like, okay, it was better than I expected, because I just thought this was going to be completely trash. But, you know, there are some songs on there that I did add to my playlist and that I will go back and forth and go back and just listen to over and over again and add to my playlist. But overall, if I had to say, do I love it? No. Do I hate it? No. Do it have a couple of songs on there that I can listen to? Yes. It's decent. Now, would I recommend it as far as like saying like this is Slowjams4life approved? No. I think, you know, if you don't listen to this album, I don't think you're necessarily missing out on much. There's not songs on here that I think like this is a monster hit, but you know, it's some nice little vibes on here. If you're a Dream fan, a super hardcore Dream fan, maybe you might love it. But you know, that's just my take on it. So yeah, I'm not gonna give it my stamp of approval, but like I always say, don't listen to me. Go check it out and, you know, listen to it for yourself. But yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all. Let me know what you guys think. And that is my review on this Dream album. Catch you guys on the next video and check out some of my other reviews. And if there's a review that you want me to do on the album, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to check it out. Catch you guys later. Signing off, Wizzy Wow.
Nothing but slow jams coming through the speakers right now. Pandora got you heated right now.